Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome to the very first episode of In the Zone. Today we have with us Ms. Ikra and Dr. Ali, and we are going to talk about licensing processes and application processes for STZA. So my first question is from Ms. Ikra. Who can apply for Special Technology Zones Authority's license?
So Samin, it's very simple. The STZA Act defines person. A person, if you qualify within the definition of that, you can apply for a zone enterprise license. If you look at the Act, that includes a registered partnership, a consortium, a company, or a corporation, a society, a REIT, real estate investment trust, a government, a partnership, a trust, or any other judicial personality. Basically, individuals cannot apply. You have to have some legal personality in order to apply for a license.
Right. The other question is somewhat linked to it. What are the types of license that we have, and how can we identify कि हम किस license के criteria पे fall करते हैं?
That's a very important question because that sets the foundation of what we're doing here. We have two main types of licenses: a zone developer license and a zone enterprise license. A zone developer license is for those entities that want to come into a zone and either build a facility for other enterprises, or they have an existing facility or existing parcel of land upon which they want to build a zone. All those will qualify for zone developer licenses, and the idea is that the zone developer then builds the ecosystem for zone enterprises to come and carry out their technology business operations. The second type is linked to this, which is the zone enterprise license. The zone enterprise license is for technology companies, technology startups, basically all technology entities and stakeholders that want to come and operate within the zone in order to carry out their main primary business operations. And in answer to your second question, how to identify? If your core business is related to technology and you want to focus on your business operations only within the zone, then you should apply for a zone enterprise license.
Okay.
But if you want to contribute towards the ecosystem and build that environment for other companies, then you're a zone developer. The only distinction I'll draw over here is that certain zone enterprises will require purpose-built facilities for their business operations. It could be a manufacturing facility that is catered specifically only for their respective technology business, or a purpose-built R&D facility or a purpose-built training facility. In that case, zone enterprises can also apply for a zone enterprise license in a different category where they actually come in to operate their technology business in a purpose-built facility. So there's a separate application procedure for that. The key distinction is if you are coming into a zone to lease out space or to allocate space to other technology companies, then you fall in the developers category. All others fall in the enterprise category.
So if you want to develop your own space and work there, you fall into the license of zone enterprise.
Yes, you fall into the license zone enterprise, but you're restricted in terms of using that space only for your specific business.
Okay. So my next question, sir, it's the step-by-step application process of STZA. How to a client and where can they find out all the information that he needs to submit for the application process?
Yes, thank you very much. Well, first of all, our complete application process and the guidelines for it are present on the website. So there is a section on apply or apply now, and within that there is a subsection for zone developers and zone enterprises. The guidelines for application are present over there, as is all of the requirements which are for the application. And then once you click on the particular application area, then there is an online complete mechanism, an online ecosystem where you can submit the various documents which are required. Before I go into the details, what we do require is that the application be submitted online, but for both cases, zone developers as well as zone enterprises, presently we also require three hard copies with the complete package. Now, the overall application for zone, I'll start with enterprises and then go with zone developers later on. For zone enterprises, generally there are two broad categories. These are not the exact documents, but just for clarity for our audience. First of all, whether it falls into a technological area, and number two, whether the company has the finances to establish their business and work on whatever they want to do in the zone. So for that, we have first of all an application letter. Besides the application letter, which describes the intent of the company and what they want to do, there is a template for that online and a checklist which is associated with the template. So there's the application letter. Then besides the application letter, they are required to submit a business plan. The business plan and the technical plan can be combined. So it describes what technologies they're bringing in, how they plan to monetize, how they plan to earn based on their line of business. There is also a free form format. It's a table which describes the strategic objectives that the particular zone enterprise is committing to bringing into the zone. The strategic objectives are listed inside our act. Those include transfer of technology, foreign direct investment or local investments, human capacity development, job creation, exports, import substitution, and research and development and innovation. So each entity is supposed to make some commitments against a subset of all of these. Any of these. And those same commitments then later on are used in the licensing process and the monitoring of the commitments that were done. Besides this, the audited financials for the last 3 years are supposed to be provided.
And what if it's a startup company? It has to have certain duration?
Well, if it's a startup, then it can certainly not provide any audited financials. But what we still need to see is that the startup is supposed to be able to at least establish their operations and operate in the zone for some time.
Right.
So some sort of availability of finances needs to be shown. That can be shown in various formats. It can be either bank balance, it can be a solid, a letter of support from a stronger entity. If it could be an evaluation rather a valuation for a stock market initial public offering. It could be some solid assets that they own, which shows that is their ability to actually get a loan against their assets. It would be even better if they actually come over and just show a letter from a bank showing that they actually have the ability or they have approved a loan. So it's basically, these are the requirements for a zone enterprise: a cover letter, a technical plan, a business plan, audited financials, and the strategic objectives, and that's about it. I'm probably forgetting one odd requirement over here, but it's listed on the website and it can be referred to. Zone developers is basically the same set of requirements, but a little bit more, because zone developers are actually requesting for a parcel of land, or they may have their own parcel of land and they want to use it for some purpose. So we actually also need to see their land utilization plan. How is it that they plan to utilize their given facility? Is there how you utilize their current space of land and establish their business over there? So the reason for this is, first of all, to ensure that the land is being used for the particular purpose that it is, the land is being used efficiently, that it is compliant with the local bylaws, and similar regulatory reasons. For zone developers, the financial requirements are a bit stronger, because obviously they have to come in and they have to set up,
create an ecosystem,
create a complete ecosystem. So obviously there are a lot more requirements in that.
I'd just like to add to that, Dr. Ali. So Samin, if for instance some documents are not available for you, whether you're a startup or otherwise, we've developed checklists that are available in the guidelines on our website. And there's a section within that checklist where you can specify why certain documents are either not available, will be available at a later point in time, or are certainly not applicable. And as long as you justify why you're not providing certain documents, we're okay with that. But we want to see your reasons in writing. And the second thing that's very important to know is that we've developed templates for all these requirements that we have for applications. And when you first look at the guidelines, you think these are a lot of requirements to complete. But whether you're an enterprise or a developer, the requirements that are within our application are basic things that you need to work on in order to do your business anyway. Whether you're a startup that's planning your business or a large enterprise that is now going to upscale into an anchor tenant, these are the bare minimum things that you need to think about and plan for in order to take your business to the next level or start your business. Similarly, for a developer, the requirements we've listed down are basic requirements that any developer would anyway fulfill or have already probably fulfilled for their project. And we're only asking for those. There's no extra information that we're asking here at STZA. We're just asking you to compile that information, compile the planning that you've done and submit that to us.
Dr. Ali, the next question is for you. What is the evaluation criteria that we have when we review the applicants?
Thank you, Samin. So once an applicant decides, or once a company or an entity decides that they want to become an applicant and they submit their application, at that stage, they interface with the STZA One Window. The One Window team checks for the completeness of the application. If everything is complete, it is forwarded to the STZ committee. I'll describe what the STZ committee does briefly, but if the applicant has not submitted the complete application, they interface with the applicant right at the first stage, and they discuss and try to make sure that the application is complete. Now, once the application reaches the STZ committee, it is checked for complete. It is evaluated for the technical plan, the business plan, and the financials. If it's a zone developer, all of these requirements, plus also the zone development plan or the civil engineering plan, etc. Once the STZ committee has completed its evaluation process, it submits its recommendations to the approvals committee. So there is a two-tier approval process in place at STZA for all applications. The approvals committee looks at the application. It has already received the recommendations of the STZ committee. There is also the optional capability of receiving recommendations from technical or subject matter experts. Those are oftentimes taken directly from STZ committee at the first stage, and it's part of the complete evaluation. And the approvals committee then makes a decision. Once the approvals committee makes a decision, the decision is communicated back to the One Window and then to the applicant. And after that, the applicant is called to complete their formalities so that they may go ahead and receive the license.
So, I'll add to that a little actually. This is just a slight tip for applicants that are sending in their applications. We're here to build an ecosystem at STZA. And our focus is on the strategic objectives that STZ has set. As Dr. Ali mentioned, those are available within our Act, and we've also listed them within our application guidelines. Any applicant, when submitting and actually preparing their application, should ensure that they fulfill, at least touch upon the strategic objectives in planning their business. Those strategic objectives directly contribute towards the economic well-being of Pakistan, and that's why they're critical for STZA. So for us, it's not just important that you're a technology company, it's also important that you commit to certain principles that we're looking after. That you bring in the required foreign or local investment, that you focus on certifications and job creation and human capital development so that you're contributing to the ecosystem, that you're carrying out technology transfer, there's innovation in the work that you're doing. Those things are really important to us, and that you're also contributing towards research and development. So in creating your business plans and creating your application, if you hit these 7 notes, then your chances of succeeding are great, because they're here at STZA, we're not here to evaluate how successful your business is going to be. That is on you. But what we're here to evaluate is how much can you contribute to the ecosystem.
Dr. Ali, how is our customer facilitation in STZA? How can we facilitate the customers and the applicants that are coming to us and have queries?
Yes, that's a very good question, Samin. Actually, what we realized is the whole concept of a technology zone and bringing innovation into the private sector as well as public sector, and then commercializing it was something quite new for our local environment. And besides Karachi, Lahore, and Islamabad, perhaps the other cities and towns across Pakistan were not so ready for what was coming in the programming of the state. So we started receiving many questions, and we started receiving applications which initially were not really that complete. So we do provide a facilitation service, but the facilitation service, what it does is it helps respond to queries, and we have a helpline, a telephone helpline, which is available, and you can make that available at the bottom of this video. And besides that, we also have an info email address. We publish guidelines. We also provide information through our social media. We have many outreach events throughout the year which enable the applicants to learn about the complete process. And then besides all of this, we've also conducted trainings for prospective consultants in the country. As you know, there are many organizations which provide consultancy services on how to prepare applications. And these are for all lines of business across the country. Those in the business community know, they are familiar with this. And for those entities which are trying this for the first time, in fact, we encourage them to do so.
We always promote our one window facility. Can you give us a little brief about what exactly it is and how it is operate, and what kind of facilitation it provides to the applicant?
I'd like to actually request Ikra to respond to this, because
Sure.
we have a digital as well as physical one window. Madam?
Sure, thanks, Dr. Ali. So, it's important to understand why one window is so critical for STZA. The biggest challenge that companies, both local and foreign, currently face in Pakistan is the various number of permits, approvals, licenses, NOCs that are required across different regulators in Pakistan. The timelines that are involved, the documentation that is required, and the constant coordination that is required with them. What one window does at STZA is it understands the need for every business that comes into our ecosystem, and we facilitate in connecting you as that single portal with every regulator for your business. So whether it's registration with SCCP, claiming your incentives with different tax authorities, getting your visa approvals through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, getting other investment approvals through the Board of Investment, getting your foreign exchange processes done through the State Bank of Pakistan, or even at the provincial level with other provincial entities. Any requirement that you have in relation to your business that is regulatory in nature, one window facilitates in that. How are we doing that now? At present, we've set up our physical one window. So at the time of your application, there is a section within the application that asks you to specify the kind of regulatory support that you need from STZA. That we'll tie in, if we approve your application, we'll tie that within our internal processes to ensure that those things are touched upon at every level after the license is issued to you. To this end, we've been working with different regulators at federal and provincial level to ensure that we have those necessary engagements in place. But my favorite part about one window is our digital one window. We're in the process of developing our software for our one window facility. Once that's complete, all your requests for
One click away.
one window facility are literally a click away. You can submit your requests online. You can track where your application is and which stages it's in as far as other regulators are concerned. And more importantly, you can also upload all your relevant documents there. So that if you require any attestation or you need to transfer any documents, you can do that in real time through our software. It's also really great because one window is also going to cater as our one window for our applications. Right now, we set up a basic one window facility for the submission of applications to STZA. Once our software is ready, then applicants will actually be able to track where their application is, whether that's with one window or STZ committee or approvals committee. So applicants will be able to track that stage as well. A lot of work is going to get into that in making sure one window works. So our request to applicants is to submit their requirements as clearly as possible, and then be in constant communication with us once your application is approved, so that we can get your approvals in a timely manner and facilitate you in the best way possible.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ali. Thank you so much, Ikra,
Thank you.
for coming here and taking time for us. Thank you so much for watching our first episode of In the Zone, and we would really want to hear your feedback. If there's anything that you want to improve in our series, or if you have any topic in your mind, any queries, any feedback, just drop down your comment and let us know what we can do.